should start. Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Welcome everybody to ACDT number 45. Today is July 21st. We have a couple of items in the agenda, and first of all, as always, Fusaka updates is the first thing to address. I think Definite 3 has not gone live at this point. But we can start with there was an East release, so I think we can start with that if that's okay. Spencer, are you? Yeah, Spencer, do you want to give an update on the East release?
Yeah, sure. So we released a feature release for DevNet Free just last Friday. Basically the changes within the release include updates to the gas prices of um the Modex and the curve, CLZ, which I guess we'll chat about later. The blob-based fee cost change for EIP 7918, the transaction gas limit reduction for EIP 7825, and the release also includes new tests for the max blob per TX limit added to the PureDAS EIP, and also removes all the tests for EIP 7907. Yeah, I guess we might have another release based on the end of this call. But yeah, let's see.
Thank you, thank you. On the Definitely side, I don't see Barnabas in the call. Barry, do you know if
Yeah.
there's any updates? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's mainly two things left. We do have a PR from Spencer for testing Hive. So as soon as EL devs have a branch for us, ideally the branch name is Fusaka DevNet 3. It should pick up all the images and we should have Hive tests running. Kurtosis should be running as well. I'll pin a version that people can test out, but we haven't received client images from all the clients yet. And there are two main PRs that still need to be we need to sort out ideally today. The first one is on the builder specs, and the second one is on engine get blobs v3. I think those are the main points for DevNet 3. If all of this is true, as soon as we have client images, we're ready to launch, ideally in 2 to 3 days. So before ACDE.
Awesome, great. Regarding the builder specs, there was comment that was made by Bharat. I think is that relevant to the discussion? I'm not sure if they are in this call, but we can touch upon that topic later if that's okay. Or
Yeah,
do you want to
sure.
go now?
Wherever you want to schedule it.
All right, cool. Cool. Okay, thank you. Anything else regarding Fusaka or the tree house clients implementations coming along? Does anybody from any client team want to give an update? Besu is ready, pending get blobs v3. Get is also ready. Except for the config endpoint, red has a branch at _config and get blobs v3. Eragon is also ready without get blobs v3. Lighthouse is ready. But coming back to EL clients, anybody from Nethermind here that wants to give an update? Nethermind ready. Okay. Cool. Lighthouse ready. Okay. Anyone from the rest of the CL clients who wants to give an update on readiness? Anybody from Teku? And Justin made the comment that there's not that many changes for Fusaka. Low start is ready. Okay. Just missing builder API. Okay, thank you. All right, it seems like I'm also granting is ready. Okay. It seems like most clients are ready and it's looking good. I think there should be any blockers for the next 2 weeks. Sorry, the next 2 days. All right, cool. Next topic is gas limit testing updates. Barry, for this, do you know who the person with context is?
Yeah, I can go here. So one of the, I guess, biggest updates is that we've had all the client releases made for 45 million, or most of the client releases made for 45 million. And enough validators have updated that roughly a few minutes ago, we had the first 45 million gas limit blocks on mainnet. So congratulations, everyone. That's definitely good news. That being said, over the weekend, we were working on Perf DevNet 2, and we had this one weird issue with Bezu where the image with the wrong Modex pricing got pushed onto the performance tag, and as a result, we've had non-finality for the last 1 or 2 days. The core issues, mostly a config mistake, but we're still trying to sync up Bezu and just ensure that it isn't anything else. And in the meantime, we are working on getting finality back up there. Other than this, there's been a couple of other work streams. So we have a new sync testing tool. It's called Syncor, and the first run of syncs of all the nodes are going on now. So in the next couple of days, we should have a good baseline metric for how long it takes to sync. There's been a lot of work by Carlos from the stateless team to try and get us all the metrics we want with the stateless network. So PerfDevNet 2 is almost at 2x mainnet state as well. So we should be able to run the Syncor tool against it and get sync information for 2x mainnet state. We have a new RPC testing tool as well. And the RPC testing tool just is so far a proof of concept. We're going to start reaching out to node operators to try and get a sense of what workloads they have so that we can benchmark them against all the clients and then make a preliminary report for this is how clients perform at 45 million. And then we should have stronger RPC benchmarks as well for the future. I think that's everything on the gas limit side. Maybe Camille has something else to add.
Yeah, in meantime, we are working on extended gas benchmarks, opcodes benchmarks. For now, we focus quite a lot on Modex because of some additional repricings which were made and to ensure that it is fine. But yeah, this is like from benchmarking point of view, it's almost accomplished, and we are moving all of our sources now to all of our forces now to stateful testing, which is like unexplored ground right now, where we had a Jochen who made some tests on PerfNet, but we want to make it fully reproducible in the same way as we do with opcodes. Already in contact with East team, we had a very nice discussion last week, and right now we are trying to summarize that together with Marcin from our team to make a document on how the full integration of opcodes benchmarking with EST should work moving forward, and what is the end goal for that. We have some ideas. We want to test as much as possible right now on top of mainnet or even bloatnet state. And yeah, this is like current goal, and hopefully next few weeks we'll have much more extensive tests which will give us much more insights from this point of view, because computational side seems like is already quite well covered. So we can focus on something which will bring much more value, and then we'll start exploring more edge cases.
Thank you, Marcin.
I would just like to say that Tony prepared about Modex changes network impact. So just pasted it on the chat. There is nothing surprising. Like after 3xing the price, 100% of calls are affected. But there are like great insights on the chat, so you can take a look.
Thank you. All right. I think there was a question regarding the get blobs B3 readiness. But before that, I think it's just a nice that we discussed .NET. I think there was one person that wanted to discuss this. I think it's a good place to start discussing that. C. Paris, are you in the call?
Yep.
Do you want? All right. Yeah. Just let's. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll be very quick. We are approaching 2x mainnet state in BlockNet, and ideally we want to rerun syncing tests, and we want to start also trying to run compaction testing to see how much we can stress adding and removing state and how does it play with compaction in order to be sure we can reach 100 million gas limit safely. And for that, we needed some metrics implemented by teams. So far, I'm going to comment the ones that we are missing or for the things that we haven't heard, such that maybe they can get this ping and they can update or give us some feedback. From syncing, we are missing any information from Besu and Erigon. And from Nethermind, I know they are reporting healing from logs, not in Grafana, and wanted to basically know if there's any way to get that from Grafana, as getting data from logs is a lot harder and requires a lot more integration for the tooling that, I mean, we would prefer to not spend the time on. So maybe Camille or Ben can say something about Nethermind, and maybe there's someone from Beso and Erigon that can basically say anything about their metrics.
For Nethermind, I think that this should not be a huge thing to add a metric for healing, so we'll try to push for that metric.
Okay, thank you. Milen?
Yeah, so I responded last week and I've added all the metrics for Erigon, so they're in the Grafana already.
Okay, that's
including
awesome.
including syncing.
Compaction too?
We don't really have this concept of
Okay, fair
compaction,
enough.
but
Yeah.
we have the metrics that are analogous to that. Yeah. Okay,
awesome. Thank you.
And actually, yeah, they've been quite helpful already. I think we've spotted a few issues. This effort is quite useful.
Thank you. Don't want to be so insisting, but if at some point you reach some conclusions on the issues you saw, please reach out such that we can log all of them.
Yeah, we're still looking into it, but I will definitely update you with like a summary once we figure out what's happening.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Messine?
Yeah, thanks. On Beso side, we do have the metrics on sync, but it seems they are like removed when we restart the node. So we need to check our implementation to be sure that the metrics are persisted. Because I see we have them on few nodes and we don't have them on other nodes. So we need to double check. We do have some metrics on compaction, but so what's the kind of metric we are looking on compaction? Is it like the impact in terms of time or in terms of
Yeah, I just sent a link to a HackMD, which basically has the summary. I will update Beso and Erigon now, but for a quick description, in compaction, we need start and end time. And we want also to get I/O performance when we are and when we are not in compaction, especially best, worst, and average read and write times for each block for every operation that basically removes or stores stuff into state into the tree. So insertion and removal time, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so start and time compaction, we do have them, but we have them like under a set of metrics that we don't usually enable because they have some overhead. Like a lot of metrics. So we need maybe just to extract that one outside, like the set of those metrics. And we'll double check the rest of the metrics and we'll update.
Awesome. I'll get in touch offline to follow up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That should be it for Blonded, Mario. Thank you.
I
All right,
just
thank
want
you.
to mention if clients could please make sure that all the metrics changes are pushed to the performance branch, because that's what we're running on the Bloatnet.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, going back to the get blobs v3, I see Roll, do you want to add some context to this question?
Yeah, I think in general, like there's ELs most of them have implemented the API. CLs have nothing to do here, and in general, I'm seeing some favorable reactions in the chat to just merging the spec change, so that ELs can merge their implementation branches and move on. I think that's what I would propose, and we can close this topic.
I see Dustin, the main counterpoint. Dustin, do you want to expand on this in any way?
Sure. Yeah. So I understand and I agree, based on, as best as I understand where this is going, that get blobs v3 is ultimately something like it is ultimately probably what we want. What I fundamentally disagree about is entwining this with the Fusaka fork, because essentially, as I have written, but obviously this is a weirdly threaded environment, so I'll summarize here and to say, like, the ELs can merge what they want, and it's great. I hope that that at some point the ELs do, if we are moving in this direction, do merge such a PR. Where I would distinguish here, though, is that treating it as part of Fusaka, it is effectively not, from my perspective, if it's not been tested in a very similar way as the rest. And we have recent experience with simple seeming things that were not tested, and they didn't go very well. And so that's sort of the gap or gulf here for me, is the idea, kind of just shove this last minute thing in and don't worry about it. It's like, we can't rely on that. We Nimbus can't rely on this. I can't speak for other CLs, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the operative point here, specifically for me, is that we did want to make sure that while PRDAS and in general blobs are and the refactors there are fresh for people, they just get this particular change in, so that we don't have to context switch it later and incur in the coordination overhead of getting releases of ELs out and doing an off-cycle engine API change and so on. And yeah, this as we all know, V3 is not exercised in Fusaka's code path specifically. This is more of kind of like I would say a smart way of like trying to offload a context switch from the future, which is gonna be coming, so that we can just get this work done when it's a simple thing that it's actually. I agree with you, it's simple. I'm not very privy to what happened in Haleski. I wasn't there at the time, but in this particular case, we have the guarantee that this path is not going to be used and what if in consensus from consensus. So I don't see how it could have a destructive impact. But yeah, other than that, the thing that I've proposed is creating some Hive tests so that we can test this separately, directly with that test suite.
Thank you.
Okay. So what I would right, like, this is why I would question is that, kind of as Marius is just saying in chat, is like, there's if it's Amsterdam, then there's no rush to get into Fusaka by definition, if that's the area. But clearly it's not. Right? Yeah. Because otherwise, that this coordination problem would doesn't really exist. You can coordinate in Amsterdam, around Amsterdam. So the either it is not meant to be in Fusaka, and therefore this is a pointless push now, or, I mean, again, clients can merge what they want, but from a spec perspective, I don't really care deeply what PRs Besu merges or something like that. I mean, I hope they're good PRs, but like from like as far as get blobs v3, but in terms of including it in a spec or not, what I would what I do care is this considered to be part of Fusaka or not? And what I would argue is that it should not be, given that we are running into like a spec freeze and the last DevNet and no testing. And that to me just doesn't work. Like that we cannot consider anything like that to be part of Fusaka as a spec.
Right.
you.
I mean, I think the rationale here, and just to kind of like explain for everybody, the Fusaka slash Glamstam slash in the middle sort of like thing here, that yeah, it's this V3 won't be consumed for Fusaka, but we aim to consume it through optimizations in the CL and specifically the peer-to-peer layer before Glamsterdam. So that's what kind of like creates the extra coordination challenge midway. And the bet that we're taking here is that by doing this now, we'll remove extra effort for everybody later. And it is done, and given that this operation is not consumed in any way, because it is exposed only through the engine API is privileged, and it is only consumed by the CL if the CL does not consume it, which is, agree, it's not part of the Fusaka spec for the CL, so it's not going to be consuming it. Therefore, there is no risk here, other than possibly the implementation risk, which is what we're aiming to test via Hive tests. And I think that is sufficient testing.
I think the thing that's being missed here, though, is that there is risk, and it's from a process perspective. You know, the biggest issue we had in the last fork was get last thing in, get last thing in. It's not going to get used. It's just a minor change. And I think this sets a precedent of trying to sneak things in under the wire when it's not going to get used. And to speak to Dustin's credit, I mean, that feels like just it makes the process messy, and that really is the biggest concern. It's not so much whether it gets used or from a technical perspective, but I think if we want to be able to ship hard forks on regular schedules and we want to get used to that's how releases are done, at least on our team, and I know they were done in the Web 2 world, is that you have a hard date, specs get in by that date. If it misses it, it's in the next release. And because there's always going to be this incremental one more thing. And that to me is the biggest issue here, not so much the complexity or the how it gets rolled out or even the merit of the feature.
I absolutely agree. So I think this is contentious enough to not be further discussed in this call. I think at the very least I would defer this discussion to ACDE. If we are we're not sure if we're going to implement something in Fusaka, I don't think this is the place to discuss it. But yeah, that's my opinion. Pari?
Yeah, maybe to play the contra, let's say we don't include it right now and we assume that it's going to go down the approach of get blobs v1. Assuming we have a single EL as well as CL implementing this in the future and we deploy it asynchronously on the network, would that still work out for us long term? Or would we then be locked until Glamsterdam before we can actually make use of this feature? Also note that we have this other concept this time. We have a BPO fork. So there's sort of another sync level between Fusaka and Glamsterdam that we never had in the past. Ideally, we're not making any code changes there and it's only BPO. But if, let's say, Geth as well as Lighthouse make a release with using this feature, and that would the BPO fork would imply that every Geth and Lighthouse node on the network has implemented this feature. Would they then be able to use it, or is it a useless feature until the whole network uses it?
Yeah, so from the perspective of the optimization that we're planning, this would be at the CL level, and basically clients that are supporting the Gossip Hub partial messages feature that uses the partial blobs return from the EL would be able to use this optimized path when reconciling columns with each other, essentially. So basically, the goal here is to minimize the superfluous bandwidth usage here that would be incurred by transmitting columns that include cells for blobs that CLs already have because they are in the EL mempool, and that's the goal here. So basically, this is being shipped as an extension, and that extension on the Gossip sub level is discovered and then used only if both clients are supporting it. So this can be shipped as an optimization, implementation level optimization that has no potential. That's the way that we're planning it. Would be having no, or at least envisioning it, would be having no spec changes necessary on the CL side of things. And the idea was to have the ELs ready to support this from the get-go.
Francesco?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I think in ACT one it was last week, I don't know, last Thursday, we said, and this has been going on for really like a long time, that we would make a final decision today. And I think we should really stick to that. Like, if we cannot make a decision, then let's just default to not doing it. If we can, otherwise, yeah, let's try to make an explicit decision. We don't need to spend the whole rest of the call talking about it, but it would really be good to just end this today, I think.
Yeah, I think if the considerations on the testing front, we're happy to acknowledge or commit to adding some testing bandwidth from our side to make this happen. I'm guessing the testing team's also okay with that. But yeah, I don't want to speak for the process decision, of course. But if it's purely about testing and that we agree that no CL would roll out any change in the future without going through the regular testing process, then I think we can accommodate that from the testing side.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it definitely. The problem is that we don't have it exactly now, so I don't know how much it's gonna delay. I would love rather to have this test already for definite tree, but that's not the case. So yeah, I'm not confident. We're gonna have sufficient testing for definite tree, in my opinion.
So just one more thing to note here. If the decision ends up being not to include this, then I think we need a decision on what's going to happen with the version that's on master right now, which does introduce a schema change that CLs would need to support, which I don't know if they have an implementation change already for. My understanding is that they don't.
Is there a PR for this? Do you have a link?
This is merged in master, but as far as I know, no CL has implemented it. So this PR that we're discussing, the one that includes gets blob v3, would reverts that change on master to the behavior that CLs implement today, and then adds the v3 endpoint.
Does any CL have any input on that? Do we know if it's like implemented?
We haven't implemented it.
Is that the case for all other CLs?
We have not either. We're just using V2 as it is.
Same for Prism, we haven't implemented it.
Same for Nimbus, have not implemented it.
I mean, that in and of itself feels like that makes the decision, at least for now. But yeah.
Maybe expanding on Francesco's point, so this would imply that we stick to getblobs v2 and we basically don't do anything with getblobs v3 right now. Is that the right reading?
That feels like the safest way and the correct reading at the moment.
Yeah, maybe someone can respond to the message Gabriel mentioned as well. GetBlobs v2 allowing partial responses or not?
It would be a no. We'd go back to all or nothing get blob speed 2, which is prior to merging the PR that I just linked in the chat.
Sounds good. Okay, so then just to summarize, get bulbs b2 with all or nothing, and it's going to be reverted in master, and we're going to stick for that on DevNet tree. All right, great. Thanks everyone. Yeah, I think the next topic, if that's okay, unless there's any other opinion. Next topic to discussion is a point brought up by Mikhail regarding the usage of safe blocking the engine API response. Mikhail, do you want to expand on this?
Yeah, thanks. Hi, everyone. I will not go much into the details of the confirmation rule. It has been already announced before. I'll just give a brief context. There is a PR, there is a paper with the confirmation rule algorithm. There is a PR, open PR to the consensus specs, which implements this algorithm. And recently we did work on a slightly modified version of this algorithm, which is more efficient computationally wise and easier to implement. And currently, recently, there is a project started a week ago on prototyping this algorithm in Lighthouse. So there is a work towards having the confirmation rule delivered to mainnet. And one of the things that we need to decide is how we will actually provide this confirmed block to the blockchain data consumers. And historically, it was supposed to be the safe block was introduced and was supposed to be set to something closer to the head that we think that is confirmed. So basically, it was supposed to be set to the confirmed block, but this work, but there was no actually the algorithm that would provide this data, and we used justified, or some clients use unrealized justified block for the safe one, and the main question is should we actually overload the safe block and use it or to pass the confirmed block to it, or should we introduce a new block tag to engine API, JSON RPC API, which we'll use for the confirmed block? So I don't know. Also, one of the question is how the safe block is actually used by data consumers. Can we figure out, can we get this information or not? And maybe it is somehow used by the clients, and all these questions need to be, all these things need to be considered to make this decision. So yeah, that's about it. I don't know if people have any opinion here and want to express it now, or should we move this discussion to probably Discord or some other venue? So much open to your suggestions.
Thank you. Yes, Terence, you have an opinion?
Yeah, thanks for the questions. I guess I'll answer a few questions in line. So I think like if the concern today is about disparity, the disparity already exists today, right? Because Prism is already passing unrealized justified for safe block hash, but I think there are other clients that's passing by justify. So there is this disparity here today. And then on the Prism side, I have a fast confirmation branch. I have been testing it since a couple of days ago, just because I think there is some renewed interest on fast confirmation. And what I ended up doing is that I added a client flag on the Prism side to allow the node operator to specify whether they want fast confirmation or unrealized justified or some future algorithm to be passed as the safe block hash. So this ends up to be a client flag on the Prism side that people can use. And in terms of consumer, I guess I can answer for Arbitrum Nitro software just because I have a little idea how it works. They use safe block hash to essentially allow layer 2 to consume layer 1 message. So when a batch poster posts a batch, or when someone submit a message from layer 1 to layer 2, or when layer 2 learns a layer 1 block price, that delay is essentially the safe block hash. So today is unrealized justified. But with the safe block hash, they could be able to consume the message in the optimistic case in under 30 seconds. So that's one use case. In terms of what the planned use safe block hash is, for Prism, we don't use it for anything internally. It's set for passing it to the EL, and I cannot answer for the EL. So yeah, someone might want to answer there.
Great, thanks a lot, Terence. And you've mentioned that Arbitrum uses safe. It means that if we start passing the confirmed block, fast confirmed block instead of justified, it could affect their security model, right?
Exactly, but that is a node operator's choice. That is basically, to be specific, that is a sequencer's choice they have to make, right? So there's one thing I have been extensively testing is just to make sure there's no reorg. There's some layer 2s accept reorg, but Arbitrum, they don't really like reorg and stuff like that. So for them, a reorg will be pretty bad. So I've been testing. I don't want this to be like at least a software bug on my end if there's a reorg that happens. But yes, if there's a reorg, then the sequencer will reorg.
Thank you. Marius?
Yeah. So as I kind of wrote in the chat, I think we are significantly underutilizing SafeHead. It should be like the default thing when people are building applications that are like that don't like need finality, but that can rely on this pseudo finality. And I think for that to make SafeHead really useful, it should be as soon as possible. And so, as far as I understand, this new rule would be much faster than the justified. And so I do like the idea of giving the node operator control over what the safe head should be, depending on their use case. Yeah, so I think I would like to see CLs implement this new fast confirmation rule. And yeah, I guess it is a CL, mostly CL only change. It doesn't really impact the EL. We will mark whatever the CL tells us is safe. We will mark that as safe for the RPC. So yeah.
Thank you. Mikael, where do you want to take this conversation? It sounds like it should be to the execution APIs, a modification there, at least. Do you think opening a PR would be the proper follow-up? Or how do you feel?
Yeah, it's a good question. If we decide to reuse safe, then basically, as Mario said, it's mostly CL side. It's mostly a kind of all the work actually will be happening on CL side. We don't need to change anything on EL. If we do make this decision, then probably there's not much to discuss. But if we want to debate it, I don't know. If we decide, yeah, probably let's try to follow up in Discord on this. I'm mostly interested in is there anybody that think that we should not touch safe and change its semantics?
All
The
right.
only
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Marius.
yeah, the only thing that I can think of is like big RPC providers who would like to expose them that to the users, to justify to the users. But I don't know. I think it would be their decision what they will mark as safe then. And right now, if they run two CLs, there might be a difference between what they mark as safe already. So it could also be flip-flopping depending on the load balancing. So, but I think this is for the big RPC providers to figure out.
All right. So I think if we can follow up this up on Discord, and I think bringing this up to ACDE would definitely make it reach a bigger audience that needs to have a say on this, an opinion. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there are two topics left. One is the builder. I think there was some discussion in the chat. But Bharat was the first one to bring it up. Do you want to expand on this?
Yeah, I mean, so I think we raised it. There seems to be a consensus in client devs on the semantics of the PR and on the like under the timing. In the sense, like just to give a TLDR on the PR, we're introducing a new V2 API in the relay, which basically doesn't return the execution payload and the blobs. Right, this is mainly for like scaling and network bandwidth. So as we increase the number of blobs. And we're also like, there also seems to be broad consensus on the semantics. That is, the API returns like a two not two success if the blinded block which is sent is valid, and it publishes the block in an asynchronous fashion. So that's there. So I'm raising it here to first of all understand if there are any concerns about it. Secondly, if there are no concerns, we are planning like this probably should be something we can target for like DevNet 3. So we're currently implementing that in the flashbots like MEV Boost Relay, and hopefully we can get that live for DevNet 3. So and like hopefully we can test it with the clients implementing the V2 API. So yeah, just putting on the stage, like, there any concerns related to that and stuff?
Any other context? Pari, do you have any context on this? Regarding which should like introduce it in DevNet 3 or not? Or I feel like it's like very close to.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should merge it. There's work underway to have this change in the MEV stack and everything, and then yeah, I'll just move forward.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good. And yeah, the last two topics are I think CLC. I think that's one of the last topic, and also the block has 60 million if we want to touch upon that topic today. So the first one is that the CL set opcode was bumped to 5. And Rakita, do you have context on the if I understand correctly, there's data that shows that it might be unnecessary, but if you want to expand on that.
Yeah. Basically, at least in my mind, previously CLC is very similar to any other bitwise operators instructions opcodes. So it was trained for me, it was bumped to be more similar to the move. It was bumped from 3 to 5 gas. It's not that big of the deal. We can always reprice it in the next hard fork, but I have created few benchmarks to check that hypothesis, and it seems CLZ is even it deserves even lower gas than 3. So I would like to see if clients are open to changing this to be back to the 3 gas. I shared those benchmark inside the all core dev chat in Discord.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if clients have an appetite for this change.
Yeah, I think the main problem is that we are very close to finalizing, so I don't think a rollback in this change is like really a possibility at this point. I don't know if everybody still feel the same way, but that's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically one character. It's not even line. From 5 to 3. I'm up to changing it. I'm not sure if anybody else is.
Yeah, to raise Marius's point, regarding benchmarks, it feels like Dragon mentions that he has benchmark for this. Is that correct? Or do you have this for all
Yeah.
the clients, or is this just red?
There is bytecode that can be found in repo, but the fastest benchmark that I could do is basically from REVM. So I did it in the code, and I did it in the code speed that basically shows amount of the time spent on every opcode. And I compared this output that I got from the outputs from the different opcodes, and it is more similar to other bitwise opcodes. So it seems that benchmark is correct. Now, there are different implementations and depending on implementation, you will have different execution. But either way, it seems correct to use 3gas here.
So just to summarize, I mean, I think this change was done a week or two ago in regards of keeping things safe, right? Because we don't really have much benchmark, that many benchmark for every single client team. So if I understand correctly, your benchmarks are only for red. So we would need to do a deeper like analysis on benchmarking for the rest of the clients before rolling it back, in my opinion. So I would echo Marius's on this, that we don't want to change it because it's very late in the process. But if anybody else feels opposed to that, just please speak up. From the other EL clients would be nice to hear. Yeah.
I mean, it's very simple to change. I mean, just revert the previous PR that increased it. But don't feel any particular way on it.
Yeah, the change is not the concern. I mean, I think that the change is super simple. Even in the tests is simple, but I think benchmarking is the main problem that we have now, and we don't have enough benchmarks for this. From the east side, we're working on benchmarks, but we're not quite ready because the framework is not fast enough to deliver the benchmarks yet.
We didn't even have benchmark that pushed it from 3 to 5. The data that I have shows that it's even less than 3. But either way, it's not big of the deal. The main thing is we have CLs included. So if clients are not up to the change, it's fine to have it 5.
Yeah, I was still in to leave it as is on 5. But yeah, open. I think we should leave it for DivNet 3 and yeah, consider it for Dumpster effort reduction. Kev, for your question, I'm not sure for the answer, to be honest. Yeah, okay, Marius. So you're saying like it's 5 times. Yeah. It's 5 times worse than add, right? Do you want to expand on that? On get side?
Yeah, I literally just did this in the last 2 minutes. I wrote a benchmark, and from what I can see, it is we have one benchmark for adding 64 bytes and that is like 5 times faster than CLZ, and even the multiplication is like at least 4.5 times faster than CLZ. So maybe there's something weird with our CLZ implementation, but yeah, it seems like at least for us, it's not in the same vicinity as the other opcodes. But as I said, I wrote the benchmark just now, so maybe there's something wrong with my benchmark. But I would like to, yeah, I would love it if we had some, if we had like a full benchmarking suite for this. And I think that feels like an oversight that we don't have this right now.
Yeah, I agree. So how about this? I think the main question right now is benchmarking. I think we can work on that this week and do benchmarking against all the clients. And I would lean towards changing the gas price upwards instead of downwards. So I feel like leaving it as 5 is the correct decision at the moment. And then we can, after the benchmarking, we can decide on whether bumping it because of security concerns rather than just lowering it now. Does that sound fine by everyone? All right. Cool. Yeah, we only have 5 minutes left. I think if I didn't miss anything from the chat, I think the last discussion is, or at least was brought up, is the 60 million gas question. At the moment, I don't remember who posted the message, but do you want to expand on whether we want to go on that today or not?
It was me actually. Just wanted to maybe broad the discussion as we already hit 45 and 60 is not a matter of any further EAPs. At least for now, we do not know about anything which we need to be repriced to hit 60 before Fusaka. We know about some optimizations needed to be made by some EL clients, but maybe anyone is having any doubts or anything like this to see, or at least make any kind of temp check if we should try to reach it before Fusaka, or there is anything else which anyone have in mind against that? For sure, what we know right now is that we need to optimize a little bit more Modex libraries in Go implementations, but this is a ongoing work, and we have a lot of benchmarks around that. So yeah, so we know how much we need to improve around Modex, but yeah, except of that, there is not much things which feels like are any risky.
I don't know. Maybe the receipt stuff, because like if I remember correctly, the receipt stuff breaks around 72 megagas or million gas blocks. And
Last time, as I recall, it was 85.
oh, okay. Then maybe
Yeah,
I'm
Barry
wrong.
also mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, but with the um with the refund bombs, you can probably get that down, right, by like 20%.
That's valid.
So
Yeah.
Ben, do you want to add something or?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the receipts is the blocker on getting to 100. It's not a problem for 65.
So generally, I put that in the chat, and if we have those few minutes additionally, but just wanted to throw a topic, and maybe we can think about it throughout the week and get back on that and add it to our agenda next week to discuss and see. Because at least personally, I don't see any like big blockers instead of some general performance improvements to reach it before actually Fusaka will come in place and solve some of these issues, which would be nice because we still don't want to probably go in one big jump between 45 to, I don't know, 100 after addressing Modex repricings. Would be nice to have something in meantime, and 60 feels like a good stop which we can pretty safely achieve prior to that.
All right, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for bringing it up.
State growth is also a good point from Marius, which is being worked on.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think it's a nice topic to bring up. I think next week we can be, well, maybe not next week, but in the coming weeks, we can have more information on this. But it's nice for it to be brought up so we can have it in the back of our minds. No need for a decision right now. Cool. Okay. Any other topics? We only have 1 minute, but if there's anything like alarming that we have to raise right now, please speak up. Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up here. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, bye.